Welcome back to the channel Coins Dealer. Today's video as we dive into one of the wildest and most fascinating coin stories you'll ever hear. A story that has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters around the world, centered on the 2004 1 cent penny, a coin with only a face value of a single cent yet surrounded by legends, myths and outrageous claims, including the idea that a rare mistake version could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and while no verified sale or appraisal has ever supported those extreme numbers in the real collector market, the fascination comes from a mix of genuine mint-era possibilities, misunderstandings, and larger-than-life speculation that continues to spark curiosity and excitement as people search their pocket change hoping to strike it rich. And today we'll explore how such a coin became the subject of such hype. What kinds of legitimate mint errors do exist on 2004 pennies, and why some people believe that an errors so dramatic could theoretically make a coin priceless, because when you combine rarity, mystery, and the thrill of discovery, stories can grow bigger than reality. And that is exactly what happened with this little copper-plated zinc cent from the Denver Mint, which normally is one of the most common modern coins you can find, but still carries the potential for actual collector value when struck with certain mistakes that slip through the minting process, such as off-center strikes, double dies, wrong planchet strikes, die cracks, misaligned dies or missing mint marks, and these errors, when authenticated, can multiply a coin's worth far beyond 1 cent, sometimes into hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity, clarity and rarity of the mistake. And this is the foundation that inspires the much bigger legend, because once people hear about rare coins selling for high prices, imaginations start to run wild and the idea of a single penny being worth an unimaginable fortune becomes fuel for viral stories, speculative posts and exaggerated claims, especially online where tales can snowball quickly, and the 2004 penny is no exception, as collectors know that certain years with known era varieties become hot targets, leading some to believe that there could exist a one-of-a-kind 2004 error so dramatic and unique that if it were ever discovered, it could draw historic attention from museums, ultra-wealthy buyers or publicity-driven auctions, which is where the rumored number of hundreds of millions enters the picture, not based on real coin market data but on the fantasy of a holy grail rarity, similar to how some people treat paintings or artifacts that gain astronomical valuations because of their story rather than their materials. And while such extreme values remain fantasy, the core idea behind it is what keeps people intrigued. Because genuine mint errors do create massive jumps in value compared to face value, and understanding how errors happen at the mint helps explain why collectors obsess over details like doubled letters in Liberty, distorted dates, misplaced mint marks, or coins struck on metal meant for another denomination. And on a 2004 penny, any of these errors can make it legitimately desirable, especially if verified by professional grading services that document authenticity and condition. Since the coin market revolves around rarity plus proof, and when you combine that with mysterious rumors of mistakes that might have slipped through unnoticed, suddenly even ordinary pennies gain an aura of possibility, making people check their change with new excitement, hoping for the golden ticket. And that hope is why this story refuses to fade, because the legend of a penny supposedly worth over $500 million taps into the same dream that drives lottery sales and treasure hunts, the belief that something unimaginable could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to find it. So even though the real world of coin collecting does not support such a number, the fascination is real, the era possibilities are real, and the hunt continues, keeping the 2004 penny in the spotlight as one of the most talked about modern coins out there, proving that sometimes the value of a story can be just as powerful as the value of metal. And that is why this humble cent has become the center of such a gigantic legend, inspiring people to search, learn, and dream every time they pick up a penny. One of the most unbelievable stories in modern coin collecting, a story that has fascinated experts, hobbyists, and treasure hunters around the world, because today we are exploring the incredible tale of a humble 2007 1 cent penny that is rumored to have a jaw-dropping value of around $722 million. A number so absurdly higher than its small face value that it almost sounds like a legend, Yet the reason this coin has attracted so much attention is tied to the rare combination of minting errors, mistakes, misprints, and unusual production anomalies that fuel the wild world of numismatic collecting, where a single tiny flaw can transform an ordinary copper-coated coin into a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece that collectors dream of owning. And although a typical 2007 penny is worth exactly 1 cent, the extremely rare error versions have inspired stories, speculation, and high-value estimates that send imaginations running, especially when we remember that coins with the right error conditions have sold for huge sums before, proving that anything is possible when rarity, demand, and a good backstory collide. And this particular 2007 penny is said to involve multiple possibilities such as double strikes, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or even wrong planchet errors, all of which can dramatically raise a coin's value because serious collectors know that the rarer the minting mistake, the bigger the potential price. And on top of that, there have been discussions about mint mark issues, such as missing mint marks or misplaced mint marks, which can skyrocket interest since a mint mark determines where a coin was produced and any deviation from the official design becomes a major attraction, especially when the error is extremely limited in number, and in the case of the rumored 2007 error penny. Some versions are said to have unusual characteristics like a doubled image where the lettering, numbers, or Lincoln's profile appear slightly repeated due to a die issue, while others are believed to be struck on the wrong metal planchet, possibly a leftover from previous years, and those kinds of mix-ups create ultra-rare specimens that collectors will fight fiercely to obtain, because even tiny microscopic differences can create massive market value in the numismatic world. And although most 2007 pennies are perfectly ordinary with billions minted for circulation, it's the microscopic population of flawed pieces that become legends, creating headlines, auction frenzy, and myth-like valuations. And when people hear about a penny being worth more than expensive real estate or luxury supercars, it sparks the imagination, encouraging everyday people to check their pocket change, old jars, inherited coin collections, and forgotten drawers, hoping that maybe, just maybe, they hold a rare error coin without even knowing it. And what makes the 2007 penny story even more captivating is that error coins aren't always immediately caught or documented, which allows rare pieces to slip into circulation, and once they do, they could be sitting anywhere, from a cash register to a coin roll in a bank, just waiting to be discovered. And it's that treasure hunt feeling that gives this coin its mystique, because while the exact $722 million price tag is more symbolic of its mythical status than a verified sale, the idea behind it reflects how the market can behave when rarity, hype, passion, and mystery intertwine. And the 2007 penny story highlights how small imperfections, once seen as factory mistakes, now represent perfection in the eyes of collectors, offering a glimpse into a world where history, craftsmanship, human error, and chance combine to create unbelievable value. So as you continue watching, imagine holding that tiny copper coin in your hand, weighing almost nothing, yet representing a fortune that could change someone's life, all because of an accidental flaw during minting. And let this story remind you that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest surprises, pushing us to stay curious, keep searching, and never underestimate the hidden treasures that might be sitting right in front of us. The unbelievable story behind a seemingly ordinary 1986 1-cent penny that has been reported and rumored by collectors to be worth as much as $480 million, an amount so shocking that it instantly grabs the attention of coin enthusiasts, historians, and treasure seekers around the world. Because the idea that a coin with a face value of just a single cent could soar to such unimaginable worth makes people curious about the hidden possibilities in everyday change, and today we'll explore how errors, minting mistakes, mysterious variations, and rare circumstances have made this little copper-colored coin one of the most talked-about pieces in numismatic circles, especially since the year 1986 was not known for producing extremely rare pennies, which makes this particular case even more fascinating. The reason a 1-cent penny from 1986 could reach an astronomical value comes down to a combination of minting errors, metal variations, striking defects, and a potential mint mark anomaly that set it apart from the millions of other pennies created that same year. because when a rare error occurs during the minting process, especially one that slips through inspection, the coin becomes a unique piece of history. Something that can never be recreated, like a frozen moment in time, and collectors are often willing to pay incredible amounts for these once-in-a-lifetime finds, driven by rarity, curiosity, and the thrill of owning something no one else can have, which is what fuels the extreme value of era coins. In 1986, the United States Mint produced Lincoln pennies made primarily from zinc with a thin copper coating, but occasionally an older copper planchet from pre-1982 production or a test planchet could accidentally end up in the minting machines, and if that happened, even one such mistake would result in a dramatic difference in weight and composition that specialists could detect. And that alone could turn the coin into a high-value rarity, especially if combined with other unexpected minting flaws, and some collectors believe the rumored multi-million-dollar penny may have involved a double die error, where the image on the coin appears doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process, a type of mistake that has historically produced some of the most valuable pennies ever sold. There are also theories suggesting that the mint mark on this particular 1986 penny may have been punched incorrectly, placed in the wrong position, or possibly created using the wrong style for that minting year, which would make it an immediate standout. And when a mint mark error is connected to the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints, it can create a level of rarity that skyrockets interest, especially among collectors who focus on small but significant details, and every tiny deviation from the standard design multiplies the coin's perceived value. The possibility that the coin was struck off-center, missing design elements, or displaying a misaligned die only adds more fuel to the growing legend behind it, because a severe striking error, especially one combined with a metal or mint mark mistake, can produce a coin that is literally one of a kind, and in the world of collecting, one of a kind means there is no limit to what somebody might pay. And that is how a penny can go from a face value of just 1 cent to an estimated value so high. It sounds unreal, yet is still believable in the numismatic market where collectors have paid millions for rare coins in the past. When experts believe that a coin is not only rare but historically fascinating, the competition among elite collectors, museums, private buyers, and investors can drive the price into territory beyond imagination. And that is exactly why a 1986 penny with unusual characteristics, minting flaws, and potential mystery surrounding its origin could become a jaw-dropping treasure worth hundreds of millions. Far beyond gold value, metal value, or face value, because rarity, desire, and story are what shape a coin's price. So while most 1986 pennies found in change are only worth 1 cent, the extraordinary rumored example tied to mint errors and its possible one-of-one status shows that it is always worth looking closely at your pocket change, because you never know whether the next coin you hold might be hiding an incredible secret, just like this legendary 1986 penny that continues to spark conversation, hope, and excitement, proving that sometimes the smallest things can carry the greatest value.